The other night I stayed up late playing Final Fantasy XIV. It is my favorite game. I love the story, there's always something fun to do. I adore most of the classes and roles in the game. A week prior to that, I did not stay up late playing video games. I stayed up late reading. I always have something to read. My TBR pile is over 200 manga and light novels. That's not individual volumes, that is a list of series that I intend to read or finish reading. I haven't even finished reading some of the completed series that I own copies of. Sorry, Lazy Dungeon Master and Devil is a Part-Timer, but I recently stayed up way past what was healthy to finish reading a book. Why? Because it is one of the series that sets my soul aflame. Welcome once again to Musings by Danon. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Danon. I'm currently reading over 600 manga and light novels, and my two favorite genres are fantasy and romance. So on this channel, while we talk a lot about both those genres, some of our videos go beyond reviewing or recommending a single series, like this one. Which brings me to the subject of today's video, series that set my soul on fire. Also, and I know it's annoying to keep hearing this, but statistically if I don't ask you to like and subscribe, the video gets fewer subscribers. Money is tight for us right now, especially with the upcoming move. If you're feeling generous, consider checking our eBay auctions or supporting the Patreon for a month or two. Anyway, because funds are tight, I will be reading a lot of books I already own that have been in a pile near my bookshelf or sitting in limbo on my digital bookshelf in the Bookwalker app. Which is why the most recent book I've been reading is Volume 8 of Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf. Only, my heart's not in it. Don't get me wrong, I adore this series. I love the characters, their banter, and the plot of the series. For those who don't know, this series is half isekai, half reverse isekai, and all fluff. The main character, Kazuhiro, goes to another world every time he goes to sleep. For years, he thought he was just experiencing a hyper-realistic dream of some kind. After all, whenever he died in that world, he would wake up safe in his bed back in Japan. Then, one day, he was exploring a ruin with his elf friend, Mariabelle. They find what they're looking for, an ancient and powerful dragon, along with her clutch of eggs. They weren't trying to steal or anything. The pair just wanted to take a peek. After all, how often do you get to see something as cool as a dragon with her eggs? Unfortunately, the dragon woke up and incinerated the two of them. Do not meddle in the affairs of dragons, for you are crunchy and taste good with ketchup. Anyway, right before they were enveloped by flames hot enough to turn bone to ash, Kazuhiro throws his arms around Mariabelle. He tries to protect her from the dragon's fire, but his efforts were in vain. He wakes up in bed, sad that his dear traveling companion is now gone. Then he hears a soft moan next to him. Mariabelle came with him to Japan. Every night, the two of them return to her homeworld, and every day they come back to Japan. She learns about Japanese culture and falls in love with the food. They travel to various tourist attractions, both in her world and his. I adore this series and can't wait for the anime. But it doesn't set my soul aflame. What do I mean by that? Most of my reading these days is done on my phone, laying in bed. I'll read a few pages as I unwind and then fall asleep. Most of the time, it'll take me a couple weeks to get through a book. 10 to 15 pages a night in a 250-page book, at least that's how my phone breaks it down, means it takes me about 2 weeks to finish most light novels. Longer for lengthier ones, of course. But that wasn't the case for the last book I read. The book I read prior to Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf Volume 8 was Reborn as a Space Mercenary Volume 9, and I finished it in 2 days. We are way past what would ever be adapted if this series ever became an anime. Part of me hopes it will, but bad CG makes me fear for any adaptation. Sometimes when a series goes on this long, it loses its way and becomes convoluted. But that's not the case with Reborn as a Space Mercenary. Everything that made me fall in love with this dumb series is still alive and well in Book 9, just as much as it was in Book 1. Only now we have inside jokes that only fans of the series will get. For those who don't know, Reborn as a Space Mercenary is a series about a man who winds up piloting the same ship he'd spent years designing and saving for in an MMO. The universe he gets isekai'd to is a lot like the video game he used to play, but with many subtle differences that he discovers as the series goes on. And yes, he's got the skills to pilot the ship when he comes into this world, which surprises him at first, but as a reader, this isn't that much different than in fantasy isekai where the main character gets cheat powers. He already had the skills to pilot the ship from years of playing the MMO, so in reality, the only cheat power he got was transference of muscle memory from keyboard and mouse to Starship control panel. For those who don't understand, imagine playing Xbox or PlayStation for years. Imagine getting to champion rank in Overwatch or Iridescent in Call of Duty or whatever. But the entire time, you only played on a console. 4 triggers, 2 joysticks, a D-pad, and 4 buttons. But one day, you're suddenly forced to play on PC. Mouse and keyboard are completely different. The muscle memory that you've spent years building is no good. Sure, your knowledge of the game is still there, but how you react to situations is completely different. But imagine if you got reincarnated, and all the skills you had from a game controller transferred over perfectly. Now, not only do you have the strongest starship in the galaxy, you also have a harem of beautiful girls. A busty human girl, a tsundere elf, and a maid droid, an android maid. You also have a bunch of girls who are jealous that they're not part of the harem, namely Lieutenant Commander Serena Holtz. Though she wants to own Hero rather than be part of his harem, which is what causes him to avoid any romantic entanglements with her. But what is it about this series that grips me so well? Why is it that I can't put it down, forcing me to stay awake long past what a healthy bedtime would normally be? Beyond the setting, world building, plots, characters, or anything else, for me it's the writing. This series is just fun to read. Every sentence is perfectly crafted to set the right tone to entertain us as readers. I'll give you an example. "Do you have a plan?" Elma screamed as her body was pushed and pulled by the G-force. "We zip in as fast as we can and fire anti-ship torpedoes at the big ones, then we hightail it before they kill us. In other words, we're just running in from the side." Is that a plan?" Mimi asked as she gritted her teeth. It would probably work. The crystal life forms were fighting the Imperial fleet head-on, so their attention was fully focused on them. It would be a cinch to take them by surprise. Of course, it wouldn't be that simple. The medium-sized crystal life forms seemed to work in tandem to attack a single target, but the smaller ones acted purely on instinct. They would be likely to charge at us the moment they saw us. Do you see what I mean? The series is fun, with great banter between our characters, plenty of excitement, but also lots of down-to-earth wholesome moments. The characters spend a lot of time relaxing and planning vacations. Of course, those vacations are often interrupted by crystal life forms, pirates, or angry nobles, but it wouldn't be a space opera without action. Now, on this channel, I have discussed the difference between good and fun, and I think I need to do that again with this video. Fun is subjective. Some people will not enjoy this series for a variety of reasons. The polyamorous relationship of the main character is a big turnoff for some people. And if it bothers you, that's fine. Don't read it. But I'm not going to claim that this series is good. It's not. It's average. Not bad, not great. But for fun factor, this is one of the best series I've ever read, and one of the few light novel series I've read more than once. Despite having a massive TBR pile, I will reread this one again. But that's the point. The whole reason I started this channel was to share fun series that other people will enjoy, and I will continue to do so. Reborn as a Space Mercenary is a delightful series that a lot of people really enjoy. But if you're looking for in-depth storytelling and an intricate plotline, why are you reading light novels in the first place? Go be pretentious elsewhere. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. There are several tiers to choose from. You can pick an anime or manga for me to do a video about, or you can join our monthly manga club. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Drya, Danny, Muffins, Marcus, Brett, Roxy, Sean, Mark, Borgie, Nazwin, Midge, Alex, Alex, Kanga, Aaron, Chris, Robert, Michael, Skinwalker, Sidewinder, Austin, William, Dan, Pye, Dead Segway, Turner, and Triz. You guys are awesome. I post anime or manga videos often, or you can click here to watch additional videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Musings by Danon.